Guys, what's going on? It's a Block Bull Rabbi now, bringing you the latest episode to the channel. Now we do have some amazing fundamental news. This week has been amazing for news, in fact, because we did have the US Fed wire going live with the ISO 222 messaging standard. So the ISO tokens, in particular XRP, XDC, XLM, HBAR, obviously associated with the ISO family as well. They've all done extremely well, okay, and obviously the sort of larger cap gems, which is obviously why they are starting to move first in the markets, guys. However, we do have this Genius Act for stablecoins passing as well. So this is the sort of first major US crypto law to actually hit the crypto landscape, if you will. So we need to understand why this is important now for crypto and why crypto is pumping. Okay, so if you just come over to ChatGPT, why does this matter? Okay, so this Genius Act sets a national standard for stablecoin regulation. This is what it's all about, guys, regulation. Once we do get that seal of approval, that means all the institutions, smart money, hedge funds, etc., all the large sort of billions, trillions of dollars in the market can start flooding into crypto. Okay, from the stock market, from any sort of funds, etc. It's all going to flood into crypto. For me, that's just my belief. Obviously, with that ISO standard, we've got the quantum financial system just around the corner, and I do believe this is the sort of pivotal point now for crypto. Now, the emphasis on reserve safety and audit transparency aims to bolster consumer trust and reduce risk of associated stablecoins. Now, a perfect example of that would be Tether as well, because it is a little bit dodgy, you've got to admit, especially in bear markets when you do see that sort of fear, uncertainty and doubt. And if Tether's ever unpegged for whatever reason, there is a lot of fear in the market, because it's like most cryptos, if you go onto any exchange, it's all pegged to USDT. Yeah, there are other stable coins as well, but predominantly exchanges will list whether it be XRP or XDC alongside USDT. Do you know what I mean? And if you have got buy orders or sort of sell orders, the last thing you want to be doing is getting into selling your XRP or XDC for a risky asset. Yeah, this is going to bring us peace of mind, which is very, very important. Now, this significantly tightens regulatory oversight, especially for non-US stablecoin issuers, ensuring compliance in the US market. So it's all good news, guys. Now, let's dive into the charts. So first and foremost, we've got XDC. We're going to take a look at XRP as well after this. So make sure you stick around for the charts to come up. I'm just going to give you my perspective and my views. You don't have to agree with me. I may be right, I may be wrong, but it's just the way I'm seeing things in the markets, guys. Things change from time to time. These markets are extremely volatile, yeah, and they do change from, like I say, day to day. We're going to take a look at, like I say, XDC, XRP, then we'll take a look at the comparison between XRP and XDC as well. There is this chart right here. We'll take a look at this very, very shortly. So let's have a look at XRP first and foremost. So this is what I've got drawn out here. I've just done a quick analysis before I've gone live. Prior to this recording. Okay, so again, we're just marking out the simple sort of supply and demand zones, where the sort of support and resistance is coming in for me. Now, this has been drawn in from the sort of 25 high. For a lot of people, this was sort of all-time high, depending on which exchanges. Obviously, if you was looking at Coinbase, it did reach a high of sort of $3.81, I believe, $3.83 in the 2017-18 cycle, which was absolutely massive. However, this is coming in there at around sort of $3.40. And this is what's happened since that Genius Act bill went live yesterday. It's basically penetrated this area of resistance and certainly the 25 high. So that's important, because there'll be a lot of sort of trades being taken now. There'll be a lot of people, believe it or not, exiting their positions. There'll be a lot of people actually only entering at this point now, because, you know, there was a risk that we could actually roll over and sort of retest this red line. Now, in today's video, I just want to highlight a sort of key level. So I'm not saying it's going to go to this level. I'm not saying it's going to go to that level. So I'm not taking any side of the fence. I'm not saying it's going to go up, and I'm not saying it's going to go down. Your job as an investor and a trader is basically to hedge your bets, because ultimately you don't know what's going to happen. Now, for me, I strongly believe there's a high probability this is going to continue to run for XRP in a sort of short to medium term. Like I say, I do believe we're going into wave 3 of this sort of Elliott wave theory. Okay, now what I marked out, like I say, got this red line here. This has been the sort of resistance since the sort of 17th of January. Again, we've had this sort of price action here, we've had this price action here, and this is where we got the break here. So we saw XRP rallying up, and this is where we knew we was going into the sort of third leg, okay, which is where all the money's made. So once we got this break here, we've broken up and we basically rallied straight up to this 25 high. Now, for me, I always like to have sort of entries below. Well, not me personally, but if you guys are trading XRP, this is where I would be placing my entries. Now, so far, so good. XRP is holding up at these sort of all-time highs. Now, for me, we've seen a lot of sort of price action coming into this sort of purple block right here before we did get the official breakout here. Now, there could be a chance where we could actually basically retrace into this order block here because there'll be a lot of people that have sort of taken sort of positions down here, so maybe looking to sort of retest for those that are looking to sort of, if they are trading, bring up their stop loss to sort of break even, if you will, or at least lock in a little bit of profit. So you know what, it is a possibility, but like I say, it is a slim possibility that I do believe XRP will continue to rally so long as XRP holds above this sort of blue line here. So yeah, if I cut it short, in hindsight, what I'll be doing is, if you are looking to place new orders, I'll be placing orders around $2.60. If you're already holding XRP, then you're good. You're literally just hodling now and waiting for XRP to go into price discovery, guys. That's where I stand on XRP. However, let's take a look at XDC, one of the other ISO tokens. Now, similar to XRP, again, we've got this red sort of trend line marking the sort of area of resistance in the markets. And again, we saw here clearly where I've highlighted in the green in a previous video, the analysis that I've done off screen, that we did get this breakout here. So we knew XDC was going to begin running up. And we have been running up since earlier this month, actually, 5th, 6th of July. On that weekend, we've basically continued to run. And then yesterday, Thursday the 17th of July, obviously we got that first sort of law, major crypto law in the US being passed. Okay, and this is what's happening now. We are going into wave 3, which again, I want to stress, this is where all the money is made, guys. So like I said, if you've got money in the markets, I wouldn't be touching it now. I'll literally be hodling it for it to continue running up. If you got 4 more, obviously buying at these prices. If you do want a sort of entry in the sort of possibility, like I said, it's a slim possibility, I'll be taking and placing my orders. I quite like this as an order block here, this sort of section here. So I'll be placing my orders around sort of, I'd probably say around 7 cents. That's worst case scenario if XDC does want to retrace for any sort of curveball that occurs in the markets. Like I say, that I do believe XDC and XRP will continue to rally. That's just in case you've got some sort of dry powder sitting on the sidelines and you're waiting to get in. Okay, again, you may not get filled, but again, it's always nice to have a lot entry just in case the markets do take a turn for the worst. So we got the 5th of November, that was US elections. That was massive news where we went on that massive rally. So that's when Donald Trump got elected. And then we've also got that other major news in the US as well. I'm going to say the Sunshine Act. Been reading too much. X, Twitter, the Genius Act. Okay, so we got that. So XDC for me is going to continue running up. Now, if we take it from this current price action, I do believe we are going to get up to these sort of highs here. So these are the highs from January. So we've got about 80% to run. Just make it a little bit more accurate, in fact, from current price action, I would say approximately 85% to run for XDC. So that is decent gains for XDC. Obviously, we've got the all-time highs to still target up here, which I believe is 19.5 cents here, which is this point here. So XDC is just going to continue to rally, in my view. Like I said, 85% gains there, and then if it was to run up to all-time highs, you're talking more like 130% return. So you're going to 2.3x your capital, which is okay. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's just get up to all-time highs. Then we will go into price discovery. Then that's when the excitement really starts kicking off, because that's when people start, their portfolio's never been as high. You've probably never had so much money in your portfolio since the previous cycle, which was like over 4 years ago now. This is like sort of, August of 21. So just shy of 4 years since we've seen these sort of remarkable prices, and that's if XDC does get back up there in the next couple of weeks, guys. So it's looking really, really good. Now, before we get going, I'm going to show you guys the comparison between XDC and XRP. Now, XRP continues to outperform XDC, and I am heavily invested in XDC as opposed to XRP. And the reason being is for this chart. Now, this keeps getting, the value continues to increase in terms of XDC to XRP. Now, what I'm going to do is just put it in with lines with markers. You guys can see clearly here. So for me, if it was to get up to these highs, which I do believe XDC will do, so this is, like I keep saying, this is XDC against XRP. Now, in my view, if we get back up to this sort of order block, so these are again all-time highs for this particular pair, there's about a 500% swing between XDC and XRP. So if this chart was to begin moving to the upside, yeah, which I think it will do eventually, I can't say when, but it will happen. That's a 500% swing. So if you was holding XDC as opposed to XRP at this point, you could basically 6x your XRP tokens. Okay, 6x your XRP tokens. Well, people were saying block bull, block bull, block bull. This is a 500% move. 500% move is a 6x, not a 5x. Okay, 100% is a 2x. Yeah. Just want to get that out there because people do bash you for whatever reason, just because that is obviously incorrect. However, I'm just highlighting you guys that there is a chance and there is a strong possibility, in my view, XDC will outperform XRP to a massive extent. Okay, guys, and that is just my way of trying to multiply my sort of XRP bag later on down the line. Like I say, full disclosure, I don't hold any XRP at this moment in time. It's XDC for the rotation when it comes to XRP later on. So eventually I will be back in XRP later on in the markets when we do get up to these sort of figures into this sort of purple order block. And I'll keep you guys posted. So make sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And I shall see you guys in the next video. The Block Bull is over and out.